Good afternoon, good morning. This is our second last session, and so as we're coming for a landing, we're going to be looking this afternoon, this evening, this morning. Sorry, my brain's a bit everywhere today. We're going to revisit your motivation. The big question: why are we doing this? Why did we do habits? Revisit your motivation. Celebrate success and take the next step. In Habit 1, Lesson 3, you explored your motivation. In just a few weeks, if you keep going, you would have finished this book. You'll have read 40 lessons, answered numerous questions, and practiced 8 habits. I hope you'll also have enjoyed working through the book alone and with your friends, even better with others. We tried as a group to do this together, but it just wasn't possible, or we had some really good input sessions. But this isn't a long time, but it's long enough and to make a meaningful progress in our lives. When you finish the last lesson, how do you hope that your life would have changed? It's a great question to say, like, when we finish on Friday morning, what is the hope for you? What would have changed for you? Maybe we can share that on Friday morning as our last little interaction. For now, don't worry about being practical. Picture the future for you, the future you. Where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? How will your life have changed? And try to describe your hopes and goals in as much detail as possible. I want to be ... I want to feel ... I want to change ... Fill in the blanks. It's time for these answers, and it's time for these answers to help you take the next step. Take a moment to review your answers from the first week. Maybe go to your journal, if you've kept a journal, and look at your first answers. Ask yourself the following questions. What progress have I made over the last toward the hopes and goals that I set in week 1? How can you celebrate your progress, or what progress can we celebrate? Thirdly, what habits will help you continue to move towards these goals? Fourthly, how can you be sustained and encouraged in this journey? What new hopes and goals is God growing in your heart now? The infinite journey. The journey we're on will never end in this life. We will never arrive until after the resurrection. I keep saying that this is not heaven yet, and until then we are a work in progress. One author calls this the infinite journey. The journey of spiritual growth is, and this is the quote, the internal journey of an individual Christian from being dead in sin to gloriously perfected in Christ. He reminds us that it is not easy. The internal journey of the individual person's personal salvation from justification through sanctification into glorification is also a gradual process, requiring great effort, labor, and suffering. The good news is that we don't take this journey alone. God has given us others to walk alongside us. Best of all, He's given us His Spirit to walk with us, who is changing every part of who we are from the inside out. God is completely committed to us until the job is over and done. Isn't that amazing? Philippians 1:6, we all know this. I'm sure of this, that He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion on the day of Jesus Christ. And the day of Jesus Christ is the day when Jesus returns for His church and for us. Because the journey is an infinite one, we'll always see how far we have to go. There's always going to be, there's another hill, there's another mountain, there's another sin or bad habit to conquer. It's good to stop, to take a look back and remind ourselves that God has been working in our messiness, in our imperfect lives, and that He's committed to seeing us complete this journey that He's called us to. He's committed to it, even though we might not be. He is committed to seeing us through. Keep going. You're working on building a rule of life in this habit. It's a set of practices and rhythms that will help you continue to grow. So the rule of life for me, in me working through with it, is for Arno to say, what is his life going to look like? What is Arno on his best week going to look like in some of the habits that we are committing to? It doesn't have to be fancy. It should just be something that you will take, or you can help you take the next step in your journey. Take another 10 minutes today for your rule of life. Continue this process 10 minutes at a time in the coming weeks, and weeks even. Just keep working at it. Look for small practical steps that you can take to continue to progress what progress you've already made and continue to grow in the progression that you've already made. Focus on what's gone well rather than what hasn't gone well. Add more of the good rather than focusing on what's missing. God is committed to your growth. He's committed to you. Keep going, keep charging. Today's questions or discussions is, as you look back on your goals, what signs of progress can you see and celebrate? Second question, how will you celebrate the work God has done and increase your happiness in God today? And as you look forward, what steps can you take to continue this journey? This is amazing. I'm really looking forward to the last session, not because I'm glad that we're done, but just so chuffed and proud that you guys have done this. And yeah, I've learned. It's been so good for me. I've picked up a few good habits that have changed the way that I'm living, and I'm feeling a lot more joy even in very, very challenging seasons and helping others. I can sense that these habits are helping me be a healthier husband, father, and hopefully a better church leader. Love you all. We'll chat soon again.